Hi everyone. No welcome slide. Let's just get straight into it. All right. This is just a small session where we'll just tell you a story of what we have done over the past couple of years on Flipkart, and hence, because I have been part of this journey for the last couple of years, I'll just put it as reimagining marketing at Flipkart. Four broad topics that I'll try to cover. One is just about defining a North Star when you go about reimagining stuff. Then there is a small section of how we are rethinking media, because there also is a lot of disruption going over there. Some context on what we mean by disruption and what we are doing in that space, and why is culture important when it comes to actually doing disruption. So when you think of e-commerce marketing, okay, Flipkart was quite fresh in the way they approached marketing, right? Traditional e-commerce companies, you do these performance marketing ads, you see some clicks, that's broadly what you go for. Flipkart, when it launched and when it actually started doing marketing, it actually wanted to get consumers onboarded on this journey of e-commerce. And they did some very interesting stuff. This is something which everyone remembers. Kids acting like adults, that's broadly what our mainstay was. But over a period of time, what also tends to happen with distinctive assets like these is they tend to become repetitive. So sometime, probably in 2019, 2020, there was a call taken that there is a lot of fatigue in this and let's now try and move away from Kiddles. But the question is, when you move away from something so iconic, you don't know where to go, right? A, do you build another asset? How do you define your brand? And that's where for a period of about 2 to 3 years, I think the company also was trying to figure out what the brand is all about. And that's broadly the journey that we now try and cover in the next few slides. What did we try and do to define the brand and start a new journey on Flipkart? 4 things on defining this journey, right? First is, what does marketing really do for Flipkart? I think there was a period of about 2-3 years where even the way marketing was approached and the way the organization viewed marketing was, let's just put some ads out there, get people on the platform, let them come and buy immediately. And a lot of our spends were just on performance marketing. And brand building kind of took a backseat. And that broadly makes you question, what should the role of the marketing function be? And that's where we said, okay, let's define a North Star for us. The North Star for us is actually drive consideration for brand Flipkart. That's broadly what we should do. And every single initiative that we do should actually serve this one particular purpose, which is driving consideration for Flipkart. And driving consideration is not an easy job, because consideration is a amalgamation of a lot of factors. 80% of which is, I came to Flipkart and I purchased a product. What was my experience like? That's 80% of it. And 20% of it is, how does the brand communicate with me? Which is, what is the tone and tenor of the brand? What is the persona? Is it present across all media formats that I am actually where I actually encounter brands? So that's broadly how you break up consideration. So we are looking at this 20%. This 20% is where marketing will come in. So how do we ensure that we are going with full force in this 20% and drive consideration for brand Flipkart? So 4 things we did to drive consideration. The first one was, first define who is the consumer you're going for, or rather, who is the consumer who's going to drive growth for you. So Flipkart is a platform everyone buys on. I can't say that there are people in this room who have never purchased on Flipkart. That won't be the case. If that's the case, this is Big Billion Days coming up. Please purchase your iPhone from there, right? So it's the platform everyone shops. But if you think about where your next phase of growth is going to come from, these were the 2 consumer cohorts. We said, that's it. This is where the growth is going to come from. Let's ensure that we drive a lot of our efforts to drive consideration in this particular segment. The second thing is, once we moved away from Kiddles, we've put in a lot of pieces of communication, but there has been a lot of inconsistency in this interim period. Some pieces of communication probably were emotional, some were funny, some were just, very, very functional in nature. So there was no clear tone, there was no persona for the brand. So we had to say, okay, we have to define what the brand persona is, what is a brand tone, and that's what we kind of set out doing, to say that we'll have stories which will have humor, which will be quirky, To be very honest, usually very, very stupid, because what we also realized while going on this journey is stupid works for Flipkart. So we actually have done a lot of stupid work, and it is almost to a extent where it's stupid but it connects. I like watching this, and I like this brand. That's probably where you want to go. Just to give you an example, okay, of what I mean by stupid work, right? Giving an example, okay, we have Big Billion Days. It's a property, everyone knows about it, but we also do these small sale events. We used to call it Big Saving Days. We also have a smaller event called Big Budget Days. They both mean the same, right? So in essence, we are not really building properties. People come to a sale event when they actually think this is a great property, it's registering with me, I look forward to it, and there is a lot of hype for it. So I'll give you an example of what we tried to do in May. So let's say there are two tentpole events apart from Big Billion Days that we're building. One is May and one is July. So this is what we did for May, and you will agree with me when I say it's very stupid.
सेल नहीं दुगना सेल है।
This came from a meme. I'm not kidding you. There was a meme which had sale written and said, is this sale or Sasa Dele? We actually converted into an event. This event has very high recall. It's something now we are trying to build as a property, right? So that's broadly the approach. Hey, is there something we can do which registers with people? Do it in a manner which is quite quirky, quite stupid, but you still like watching it, right? I'll give you another example, okay? This is a film which is not out there because this is a service we have now opened up in a few places, but the film is there, and we have actually we're doing this communication in very, very specific geographies, and probably this one we'll go full force. So you've not seen this, but here we go.
मेरी आई सी, मेरा मास्टरपीस, दुनिया का सबसे मशहूर आइस स्कल्पचर। कहां से लोग आते हैं उसे देखने, पर अचानक आज फ्रिज खराब हो गया। ईगल की हालत बिगड़ने लगी है। सर, आप ही बचा सकते हैं इसको। जल्दी से एक फ्रिज भेज दीजिए।
Don't worry, sir. हम 4 hours में डिलीवर करते हैं।
ओह, मनगढ़ंत कहानियों की क्या जरूरत, जब फ्लिपकार्ट देता है 4 hour डिलीवरी एंड सेम डे इंस्टॉलेशन ऑफ फ्रिज, टीवी, एसी, वॉशिंग मशीन एंड मोर।
This is very functional. So we wanted to do something functional and say this is what we are doing: 4-hour delivery of AC, TV, fridge, all large appliances. But we also wanted to be slightly stupid in doing that. Another example is I don't know whether you guys have seen this. This is what we wanted to do on Minutes. Okay, so we launched a service called Flipkart Minutes, and the thing that we wanted to say was we are giving veggies at ₹9. That's it. That's the thought.
महंगाई बढ़ती जा रही है। भिंडी अब 100 रुपए किलो हो गई है, और प्याज की तो पूछो ही मत। रशियन सैलेड का सपना तो सपना ही रह गया। अरे सुन भी रहे हो? क्या है? Only 9 rupees.
फ्लिपकार्ट मिनट्स पे मिलती है हैंड पिक फार्म फ्रेश सब्जी सिर्फ 9 रुपए में, डिलीवर्ड इन 10 minutes.
Right. Okay. So that's, I'll have other examples as well, but I'm running out of time. The other thing is, one is, yes, you now set out a brand persona which is in this space. We spend a lot of money on digital, okay, like a lot of money on digital, right? And our approach has always been, let's use digital assets to drive clicks. We thought let's approach it differently, because if you're interacting with the consumer with such high frequency on digital, why not actually drive consideration on digital as well? And I'll give you what it's a simple thing, but it's driving crazy returns for us. It's as simple as this. This is what we used to do, and this is what we do right now. To say that, and they're all playing together, so you can get slightly brain fuzz because of this. But the idea was to say that let's not do these random statics. Let's always, if you encounter a Flipkart creator, it has to be consistent. Let's ensure that the brand registers well, and you're actually giving a narrative on digital as well. I'll give you what the data is for this. We are actually getting 2.5x CTRs on this one. So your click-through rates are actually 2.5x here of what used to happen here. So it's just a small change, but that's broadly what we all set out to do in the last couple of years. The last one is what I'm not going to talk a lot about it, because you want to drive consideration, you also have to go out and be present in this new ecosystem called influencers. We were not. Till last year, I think our play was quite muted in this space. So I'll not share a lot of figures, but I think you can comfortably say that in the influencer ecosystem, by revenue, we would now be the biggest in the country. So that's broadly what we built over the last year. Some other time we'll share details, but that's broadly what's happening there. Okay, the next one is on media. Okay, just a simple question. How many of you do not have a cable connection? Just raise your hands. That's broadly where India is headed, right? So traditionally we used to have TV plan, digital plan. That's what used to operate separately whenever we used to do a campaign. And that's not really the reality anymore. You have people who are cord cutters. There are 150 million people in India who are cord cutters, who have no cable, who are only looking at television through a smart TV. So now the idea was, if I have to make a media plan, I can't make a TV plan, a digital plan. So how do we go about it? We created this tool. So we did a study to say, how do I look at attention metrics on each of the devices that people watch content on and give a score to it? And then say, what does it take to be effective on each of these media? We realized that CTV and TV operate the same way. So the same number, let's say 5 exposures on CTV for a particular piece of creative drives your consideration objective. But actually it takes 12 exposures watching on mobile, 13 exposures while watching an OTT on mobile, 12 exposures while watching YouTube on mobile. So we actually got all of that done. And then we said that, okay, let's make a combined digital, actually not even digital and TV plan, it's large screen and small screen plan. And then we say this is what we'll do as a reach, but a reach at 4+ at large screen would mean a reach at 10+ on digital. And that's how we started doing incremental reach as well. So that's that's actually something which has driven a lot of effectiveness for us. For the same dollars, at an effective reach, we are now spending 15% lesser to get the same effective reach. Second on media is how do you look at media? Okay, I just put a few examples over here. So what I spoke about earlier was reach and frequency. The other thing is also an impact, right? People who have done any brand launch will know that impact is one part of the brand launch. You launch a product, you probably do mass media campaigns, and then you also do outdoors, you do print, you do a lot of things, and you consider that as impact. I think the way we've started viewing impact is also slightly different. Impact only happens when it goes outside the media it's present on. So let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say there is a newspaper which has 3 million circulation, and you're spending a lot of money to be on the front page of the newspaper, but you're only reaching 3 million as an audience who might or might not see it. The only way this works is what you do travels outside the newspaper. People talk about it, people share it, people share it with their friends in their social circles. That's when you actually get the returns. The last example, for example, is an outdoor. Okay, there's the thing that we did in 2023, where we wanted to say that Flipkart is actually a horizontal platform. Don't come to us only for mobile phones, right? So we took 7 outdoors, talked to a few brands, put their creatives there, and the center we just said there are 7 ads around us. जो हर ad में दिखता है वो Flipkart में मिलता है. This probably we don't even know what is the reach for this one. It's just one outdoor, but a lot of people have seen it. But it's just one outdoor. Similarly, We did this in on Times of India front page when we wanted to say Big Billion Days alive. Typically, when we do Big Billion Day live launch, it's Amitabh Bachchan standing like this and Ali Bhatt standing like this, and there's a Big Billion Day logo at the center and says "Sale is live." We want to do something interesting, so we just put about 50 QR codes and said, behind one QR code there's an iPhone. Scan. TOI has about 3.5-4 million circulation. We got about 4 million scans just by doing this on the day of Big Billion Day. And then recently we did this for minutes where we said, okay, this is me, and the report came, one man with a child is doing this. So this is just a print to say that, you know what, minutes is live in your area, and we wanted people to discover it in a simple or interesting manner. So we asked people to pour water on paper, which probably was something which you would never thought you would do with print. So that's the thing that we've done on print as well. This also traveled. So the idea was to say that how do you make impact travel outside the traditional media that you're doing impact on. Okay, sorry, time's up, but do I get 5 minutes? 5 minutes? Okay. The other thing that you remember is that even if something goes viral and people are really talking about it, how long do people talk about it, right? I remember while growing up, there was this Bonvita ad which used to come on TV, which was just one person running with a pole vault, jumping and said, "Tan ki Shakti, Man ki Shakti, Bonvita." It had nothing, okay? But that's an iconic ad because we kept on playing it for 4 years, 5 years, and that's why it stuck. And that's how memory used to build previously. Right now, that's not how it works. Even if it's the most viral thing out there, you forget it within a month, okay? So you might say that, oh wow, what a superb year I've had, I have created this viral ad. It's in your head. After a month, people have forgotten about it. So the question really is, how do you do disruption consistently? Right? I'll not play the videos, but I'll just play one. Let's see. So this is, let's say, what we've done for Rakhi this year.
Sisters, you think Behenod is charity or what? All these ehsans you do hold value.
It's croissant, not croissant.
You just don't know the value of the value you add. Settling for kuch bhi in return?
पौधा राखी पे पौधा कौन देता है?
We agree. This Rakhi, Flipkart is helping settle the hisab with invoices by giving monetary value to all your ehsans. So he gets a gift that matches your invoice value.
But how can you attach a value to emotions?
You can't. She can.
Hi, I am CA Rachana Ranade, also full-time behan. See, if x-axis is ehsan and y is bhai ki izzat, then croissant sahi bolna sikhana. Khaching.
Samjhe? So click the invoices banner, select your ehsans, send him an invoice with the gift of the value of ehsans. And for once, get a gift you deserve.
Pani lao? Nahi?
So this is what we refer to as activation. So the idea is that whenever there is an occasion which is relevant, whenever you feel there is a campaign that you can really connect with the consumers and actually make them interact with you, we do these a lot. And the trick to doing this is figuring out a way to have an agency ecosystem and a production ecosystem which actually is very cheap. That's it. There is no other way to do this. We used to have a previous ecosystem where there was one agency, used to do 3 campaigns a year and used to spend crores on it. Now we have 3 agencies, we do 40 campaigns a year, and we probably are at about 20% higher spends. That's it. So that's broadly about how do you create an ecosystem which has production, agency and team all working together to say this is how we'll deliver it, and this actually now is actually working like a machine for us. Last 1 minute, I'm closing it. Not going to play all of this. The last one, I just will end on this point. This is to say that it takes time to build culture. Okay, in 2023, when I was trying to push the team to this, they were not understanding what I was trying to do. We have this competitor who does a superb sale in July called Prime Days, and we were not really in the mix. Okay, no one used to think of us as a sale in July. We used to call it Big Saving Days right here. So this is what we were doing in 2023, and we said, how do we actually compete and become bigger than them? And in spite of doing that effort, this is what came out. Okay, in 2023, you push the system, it doesn't work. Then the team learns what is success. Then they learn from success. And this is probably what we did in 2024.
भाई गुड न्यूज
आज वेज बिरयानी
नहीं गोट
गुड
गोट मतलब फ्लिपकार्ट ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ ऑल टाइम सेल गोट बनो बकरा नहीं
That's it. Okay, the idea was to put it as goat sale because we said we'll do goat sale. Everyone in the company said we'll get Virat Kohli. Then reality hit us that we don't have money to this. So we get the next best celeb with our 2 goats. So that's how we did it. And this year it's even bigger than that. I don't know how many of you have seen what we did for goat sale, but do check it out. It's quite cool stuff. It's interesting. We've really performed well this year on goat. And yeah, so it takes time to build culture, to move from here to probably what we've done in 2025. I'll not play that for lack of time. But yeah, so that's probably what I wanted to cover today. And
भाई गुड न्यूज
thank you.